This is a case that I truly never thought we'd be talking about again. But here we are. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Criminally Focused. If you're new here, or if you've been here for a while and you're like, girl, where have you been? Hi, my name is Desiree DeLuca, and this is Criminally Focused. And I know, it's been way too long since I posted a video for you guys, and I definitely owe you an apology. Professionally, I have been working behind the scenes on this channel, trying to get on track and refocus and make sure that the channel was heading in a direction that I wanted it to. And my personal life has been kind of crazy too. My kid is off in college now, which is absolutely wild. And that alone has been a huge shift. But I'm back. And unfortunately, so is a case that I think a lot of us hoped we would never have to talk about again. Because today we're going to be talking about Leticia Stauch. Whether you've followed my channel before or you just happen to find this video, if you're here, chances are you follow true crime. And you probably already know about this case. I actually covered it when it was unfolding, especially because it hit so close to home, being that I live here in Colorado. But just in case you need a refresher, let's go over it briefly. 42-year-old Leticia Stauch was the stepmom of 11-year-old Gannon Stauch. While in January of 2020, Gannon was reported missing from his home in Colorado Springs, and what followed was a heartbreaking and disturbing investigation that pretty much gripped the entire nation. At first, Leticia just claimed that Gannon left the house to go play with his friend and he just never came back. But then her story changed, and then it changed again and again, until investigators finally uncovered the truth. Sadly, Gannon had been murdered. His body was later found in Florida after Leticia had brought him across state lines and dumped him off a bridge. The details of what happened to him are absolutely horrific. Gannon was stabbed 18 times, hit over the head with a blunt object hard enough to crack his skull. And then he was shot in the face. I think it went in through the jaw, if I remember correctly, but he was shot at 3 times, and one of them hit him in the face. He was brutally murdered. But not only that, he was failed by somebody that was supposed to love and protect him. Eventually, Leticia was arrested, and then in 2023, she went to trial. And her defense? Insanity. According to her defense attorneys, they claim that she was suffering from something called dissociative identity disorder, or as it used to be called, multiple personality disorder. And basically that she wasn't in control of her actions at the time that she murdered Gannon. But the jury didn't buy it. So she was found guilty on multiple charges, including first-degree murder, and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. And for many, that felt like justice, kind of like closure, like the end to a nightmare. But now there's been a new development. A retrial was recently granted to Leticia. And before you panic, this ruling does not mean that Leticia is going to walk free. But it does mean that as of now, she is no longer a convicted murderer, and that something significant has happened to reopen the discussion around this case. So in today's video, we're going to go over exactly what triggered this retrial conversation and what this could mean moving forward. So grab whatever you're drinking or smoking, get comfy, and let's get right into it.
Hello everyone. About 3 years ago we were set up in a similar room giving us the worst news that was imaginable. The news that our son was no longer alive. And now I stand here today with some of the happiest news that we have waited 3 years for, is that he has finally received justice. And we have no more fears of this lady, the defendant. She will be locked up for the rest of her life, and I can sleep at night knowing that she will not harm anyone else.
So a retrial can happen for multiple different reasons. Maybe a procedural error, or there was jury misconduct. And when something like this happens, the court really has to take it seriously. Even, unfortunately, in cases where the verdict that's reached feels obvious. like in Leticia's case. It was announced on April 2nd, 2026, which was just a couple days ago as of this recording. The Colorado Court of Appeals announced that they were granting Leticia Stauch a new trial. And I guess this decision was made after the court determined that a juror in the trial had a connection to the district attorney's office. The DA and prosecutor in Leticia's trial was a man named Michael Allen. During the trial, I was able to meet Mr. Allen, and I just have to say that I think he was incredibly nice. But unfortunately, a lot of lawyers and people online are pointing directly at Mr. Allen and the judge as being the reason that Leticia's verdict was overturned in the first place. According to Denver 7, which is a local news station, during jury selection, the juror indicated that his son-in-law worked as a deputy district attorney in the same office as the El Paso County District Attorney, Michael Allen. While Leticia's lawyers argued that this would affect the jury's ability to be unbiased. The juror was then questioned in something called the voir dire. I think I said that right, voir dire. But the juror was questioned further about whether or not he thought that having his son-in-law working in the same office as Michael Allen, if he thought that that would influence his decision in court. And based on his answers, the judge felt like he was okay to be there and he didn't dismiss him. And not only that, but he allowed him to be part of the deliberation. Well, apparently the Colorado Court of Appeals didn't agree with this decision and said that it was a structural error. And a structural error is a legal error that completely affects the overall fairness of the entire trial. They went on to explain that it was a direct violation of Leticia's right to having an unbiased jury pool. And because of this, they ruled that that constituted an automatic reversal and retrial. And the reason that many lawyers and people in the public are pointing the finger at the DA and the judge is because a lot of people believe that they should have known better and not even taken the risk at an appellate issue. From what I understand, other states are a little bit more lenient as far as, I guess, the judge's discretion. But in Colorado, we actually have a law that it doesn't really sound like the judge or the DA paid much attention to. According to the Colorado law, section 16-10-103, if a juror is found to have a relationship within the third degree by blood, adoption, or marriage to either the defendant or any attorney of record, then basically they shouldn't be on the jury. And if I'm understanding it correctly, the state is basically saying that even if the judge in this case, they didn't have the juror removed, well, Leticia's lawyers still should have objected to this and used something called their preemptory challenges. According to Justia law, in Colorado, preemptory challenges are limited discretionary strikes that attorneys can use to dismiss potential jurors during the jury selection without even giving a reason. Each side has a certain amount of challenges that they can use, and Leticia's lawyers didn't use any of theirs to object to this juror. However, it sounds like the Court of Appeals ruled that they didn't have to. Like I said, why the judge and Michael Allen ignored this is beyond anything I can understand. There's got to be a reason, right?
9 News legal expert Scott Robinson joins us again to talk about this. And I think right off the bat, Kim and I have been baffled by this, and we're not lawyers, we're not in the legal system, we cover these things. How did this get through?
Well, it is an enormous mistake by the judge, and it was compounded by the district attorney's office. They were taking an enormous risk to object to challenge for cause for this individual who didn't express bias, but because of the statute, he was impliedly biased, which means he should not be sitting as a juror.
And like I said before, this doesn't mean that Leticia is going to walk free, and it doesn't even necessarily mean that a retrial is going to happen. The 4th Judicial District, which is where Gannon's case was originally heard, can ask the Colorado Supreme Court to reverse the appeals court's decision. And to do this, they have 45 days to file a petition asking the Supreme Court to review the decision. Denver 7 interviewed somebody from the district attorney's office, and they basically said that if necessary, if going to the Supreme Court doesn't work, then they're prepared to present the case to a new jury at a new trial. And that's really all I know at this time. As of now, there's no new trial date, as there's obviously more steps that need to be taken. My thoughts and my prayers go out to Gannon's family. I met his mom during trial, and she seems like such a kind person. My heart just breaks for her. I'm praying, that the Supreme Court will reverse the decision, but I will keep you updated going forward about anything that comes out about this case. So do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. It's a free way to help me out, and make sure that notification bell is on so you don't miss a thing. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Until next time, stay safe and stay focused. Bye.